Hello, everyone. My name is John Overton, and I've got the privilege today of sitting with Stacie Porter-Bilger. She's the founder and president of Proof Digital Marketing Agency. This podcast is in collaboration with Roundtable Recording. Thanks to them for this beautiful space. Today, we're going to talk about AI, we're going to talk about marketing, and we're going to cover a variety of topics that are pertinent to small businesses trying to get ahead in their respective industries. I'm going to do a quick little intro for Stacie here and kind of set the tone for the discussion. Small business owners and marketing managers across Indianapolis are navigating an AI landscape that changes faster than any blog post can keep up with. Most of what they're hearing is either hype or theory. Proof Digital's edge is that your team is doing this every day, running real campaigns, seeing what works, and dealing with what doesn't. So I'm personally very much interested in this discussion. We kind of talked a little bit prior off mic. I've ran businesses, I've paid for marketing. So as we dive into this, I'm definitely going to be taking notes. But before we start, as you came here today, did you have anything specific that you really wanted to drive home in this interview that would leave people with more than they know now about either AI or marketing?
A couple things. One, AI is moving fast. You can't ignore it because it's going to be the vehicle for your business to be found. And it is changing on a daily basis, and keeping up can be a little overwhelming. I'm sorry. But the other piece is some of the older, marketing tactics still exist. You still also need to lean into what problem do you solve? And being clear on that. Blending the two and being authentic. So it's, so there's going to be a lot of change. It's rapid. And sometimes you need some help to navigate it. But hopefully today we'll get some small businesses and some guidance on this.
I definitely think we can add some value. And I definitely appreciate you taking time to be here. So our first conversation is going to center around general marketing and then, as you said, kind of layering AI into that.
Yeah.
So before we talk about AI at all, what does a small business need to have in place for any marketing to work?
Right. Well, the basics.
Like, what are the non-negotiables?
What problem do you solve? And how are you going to make the lives better of those who you want to buy your product or service? You have to make that extremely clear. Because when I'm going to a website, or if I see the message on AI, or if I'm going to your social, what do you do? And from that standpoint, that still needs to be in place. And then really be clear on who your customer is. The old school personas, those still are important, because that's also important as no matter what tech platform you're pushing your product or service. So who do you serve, and what are the problems in which they need solved? So the better you understand your customers, still in marketing.
Absolutely.
That is the basic piece. So having those things in place, from a tech standpoint, a website, your website is your home base. There's some things that you need to do now, even more on that website. But at minimum, your website should also be really clear to what problem you solve, and your credibility.
Trust and credibility. Brand clarity.
Brand clarity and case studies and those things that demonstrate that you can deliver on what you say you can. And how do I get in touch with you?
Yeah. Sometimes, how do we find you? How do we give you money?
How did we give you money?
Yeah.
And making that easy.
Mm-hmm.
So those are simple marketing from beginning of time.
Yeah.
That still exist. And the clearer you get on that, the more successful you'll be across AI, general search.
You got to start with
ads,
a solid foundation.
Whatever. Otherwise, you'll waste your money too on ads or an investment in your site. So the clearer you get to that. Now, some companies have a little challenging because I have so many clients. I have so many, potential folks, but you need to identify each of them and then set priorities. Who makes the most money? Who makes you the most money? Let's focus on them first.
Yeah, prioritization. That kind of leads. Some of that kind of leads into my next question. A lot of small business owners, they might say, my website's fine, like it's doing what it needs to do. When somebody says that to you and you're tasked with finding out if that's true. What do you find like when you look under the hood of a website usually that you see could be improved or optimized?
I've never found a site that wasn't that was perfect. So I can pretty much say that it's not. Few things. You have to remember that there not only do humans view your site, but search engines and now AI bots read your site. So again, a lot of times they don't have something called a H1 tag or a meta description. So that means you're not telling those bots what you actually do, and you probably won't come up on search. That might not be a priority, but when somebody Googles your name, that's what comes up, the type, what you do. And so you just need to reinforce it. So a lot of times sites are not structured in a way to be found by search or AI bots. But also when somebody's looking for you, you're not answering that question, again, about based on, what problem you solve. So a lot of things on websites are not in place to help you tell your story. And that's lots of things we see, and broken links and, lots of things. But again, a lot of sites still don't come to back to the point. What problem are you solving?
Who are you? What's your clear mission? And then how do I value?
Contact you and make it. So a lot of sites still don't do those basics, but structurally, most sites miss out on that. Sometimes you want less words, and actually sometimes that's not good for deeper into getting found as well. So coming up with a strategy about setting priorities for your site.
I think that's a huge point. You're not only communicating with your customer, you're communicating with, the internet and how it makes you visible or not. And I think most small business owners probably don't think of that as much as they think about the customer they're talking to.
I do get the question, why don't I come up on, Google or Bing, or how do I get found in an AI chatbot all the time? And there are lots of reasons behind that. But just it's the details. And just really down to the details of making sure that you're set up correctly and that you're communicating.
So let's kind of jump into this AI age era that we've just started to get into. When a small business owner has seen it, they've heard a little bit about it, they come to you and they say, I want to start using AI in my marketing. What does that conversation look like? And more specifically, how do you identify and explain to the client where AI can positively impact their business?
Sure. First of all, AI is changing the way people find you. And it's no longer, those people who followed search or SEO marketing, it was, so keyword focused but now it's about you actually helping. I say it's about your job to help make the AI LLMs better.
It can only work with what you give it.
So it is. So you need to make it better. So it tells your story, and you need to think about it as another salesperson for you. Which means you're not
That's a great point.
You just don't need to give your salesperson keywords and a website piece. It's basically information. What questions
you got to train it like you would train another employee.
What questions do those customers ask you? What are your competitors saying? What are they not saying? Understanding what people are actually searching. People are not just when they go to Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude, they're not they're prompting these chatbots and asking questions and digging deeper. We have so many case studies right now of changing business. It'll change your business if you get found in a chatbot for your product from a sales standpoint. It is really a sales partner for you, and you need to look at it like that. Treat it as such, which means you need to have those questions about what people ask about your product or service, and your site needs to be set up to answer those questions.
So I also had a question, where is AI genuinely making a difference for small businesses right now? Where's the biggest ROI actually showing up? And is it being found in those responses from these AI platforms?
That's one way it can, but there's AI is helping businesses and small businesses across the board, and we also help from a standpoint of workflow implementation, and we use it for workflow implementation. We use AI across all types of workflows, and we help our clients identify that. But from a search standpoint, it changes on a weekly basis. I
Yeah.
mean, if you've seen how even when you're looking for a product 10 years ago, now you saw products, and now you're seeing just various search options. I mean, you have
Yeah.
Gemini on the side if you're on Google, and it's giving you specific answers. The piece there is you're getting less clicks to your site sometimes. So that content that those people click on needs to be more specific, and again, a sales rep for you, for them to choose you. So companies really need to think about where they want to be. I mean, setting priorities about, okay, this is a product we really want to focus on. And so let's build content around this particular product.
Is there a front runner right now? We talk about Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT.
Yeah, there's a front runner.
I mean, they're all probably valuable and important. Is there one that's like, I don't know, more important?
Claude is really killing it right now.
Yeah.
I mean, from my perspective, I kind of give them different names. I think, I think one is more, Gemini is more like a geek, and it's really good with numbers, really good with pictures too, images. But Claude, great with coding, great with, it's also I find to be a safer platform a little bit. But ChatGPT was kind of the Kleenex, I call that, of that. They're, running through some, a lot of huge investments. We'll see if that pays off or doesn't pay off.
They were kind of the first, right? Or one of the first?
I mean,
first to blow up, maybe?
Sort of. Yeah. I mean, I've been using AI for a long time.
Yeah. Since when?
Probably 2014.
Wow. Yeah.
For a while, but I mean, then some people have been using
mainstream.
It became mainstream, but now it's been crazy. I think Claude is probably the front runner. I mean, and Gemini is Google, so
they got some backing.
They get some backing there, and Perplexity and others that are out there. But those are, I think, Claude's my favorite today.
I don't want to get too technical, but Tim here at the studio, he loves Claude, and he's always talking about workflows and stuff. Can you kind of explain what that word means, like an AI workflow?
I'll give you an example of a workflow that kind of changed our business. Okay. Now, what's not going to change, we still have to, the human piece is going to be even more important in marketing. But I can have a Zoom meeting, and all the way from the transcript, can draft an email response based on what are the next action items, add it to my project management system, assign it to people who need to do it, draft the next agenda item for the next meeting, and automated.
Yeah.
Automated. So
that's incredible.
That is saving my team
a lot of time,
an hour or two.
Yeah.
So that we can actually work on marketing and personas and less project management for our clients. So those are workflows. We have workflows from competitive intelligence. We have a whole AI hub.
Yeah.
We have AI workflows for time tracking for our business, where we do track time as a business. So we have actually a whole structure of how we work with our clients. So, okay, let's just talk about where you're spending your time.
Right.
How can you, what's eating your time as a business? Is there a potential AI automation? So workflows are that, just like I mentioned, from a client meeting to assigning the tasks to the follow-up to the client.
Just automates it.
Totally automated.
Yeah. Well, it's synergistic too, because you guys are using AI as a tool, and you're educating your clients on how to use AI. So you're constantly learning, you're constantly trial and erroring your own company with it.
Right.
So that gives you a wealth of knowledge to be able to share with a new client.
It does. And so we have clients right now, we're helping them think through not only how they need to help AI be better by answering questions that consumers ask based on the service they have, but also how can they look at this tool to help them do their business better. And another piece that we love using AI for, predictive analytics. The data we pull in. I'm a data person, love it. We help our clients make better decisions with data. AI helps us make those decisions even better. So we're building a performance hub to pull all the data from all different marketing platforms so that our clients can have access to those data points a little bit faster. So they know, always the question of a small business: what should I do first? well, these tools will help you understand what you should do first to have the biggest bang for your buck.
Yeah. It's a great tool. I want to kind of like walk it back to kind of the introductory part of a new client. If somebody's watching this and they're like, hey, we need a company like Proof Digital, or we need somebody like Stacie to like help us get AI integrated into our stuff, what should a small business expect to spend on a service like this? And then also kind of a two-part, does AI make that more affordable or less affordable for a company?
A couple things. How much to spend? It depends on the business.
Yeah.
And I get this question all the time. And I think it just depends on the market. I mean, different companies spend anywhere from, 5 to 30% of their revenue.
Yeah.
I mean, so it just kind of
varies.
It varies a lot. I think it's important to set priorities, and we try to work with clients to say, okay, who have smaller budgets, what can we help them navigate, and so that they can scale up to do marketing. So one thing that does help is, okay, what's the most important in front of us today? So AI can help us leverage that. We still are doing the strategy and the implementation from a standpoint from our we're just delivering more by spending less time on some of those things that you don't necessarily feel from a marketing standpoint, but we do because we want to spend more time on ad optimization and those pieces. So, but clients need to think about their revenue and then their revenue goals. If you're an e-commerce site, you have to spend more. If you're local, you can spend less. I mean, so if you're like looking, I only want to target one geographic area, you can have a smaller piece. So where you want to be found.
It's really just get in where you fit in and work from there.
Right.
And that evolves over time.
But setting priorities and then measuring. I mean, I think the biggest concern small businesses have had in marketing, they don't know if it's working or not. And you should be able to see if it's working. Having clear KPIs, measurements of what are the goals. Now, sometimes it's not as easy if you're not selling, a product.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for us to say, okay, you spent this much on ads and you made this much on ads. If you have a product that's not as clear as how many forms did somebody fill and how many of those forms were actually real. So those are pieces of setting some goals before you actually invest and try to work with the marketing partner to come up with some realistic goals, which is always hard.
What are some other key pieces of data that a small business should be looking at, with you even to see if their initiatives are working? I mean, we talked KPIs, we talked obviously sales, but how do you measure on the back end?
First is, traffic to your site. How many people are coming to your site? And then from a standpoint from there, how many people are they staying on your site?
Right.
Because oftentimes that tells you it's likely a real person, because bots also come to your site, and if they're kind of coming off and on, so that's typically, so are they going to multiple pages? Are they hanging out on your site? There's things you can put on your site, which we do, to understand and watch behavior. So you can learn, so you can see where they're clicking, where they're navigating to and from. That helps you improve campaigns. Are they clicking on a button that, from a standpoint? Are they
reading the verbiage on the page?
Right. Are they calling you? You can track those phones. Those are always easy. When you have a more extensive site like a e-commerce site, are they adding it to cart? Are they leaving? Are they adding more to the cart, which is AOV? Are they spending more money? So those are lots of different things, but there's lots of things we track.
Have you seen small businesses try to use AI tools before they were ready, maybe without your help or supervision? And what does that look like in practice, if at all? What goes wrong?
First of all, with AI, I think everybody should just jump in and try it. I think whether you don't put it into your workflow until you actually understand what problem you want to solve from a workflow standpoint. But I think companies need to see the power of it. The power that I see of it is crazy good. I gave you one simple example of a workflow that we're saving hours on from a business standpoint. I think if a business, don't be afraid of it. as my point. And then from a standpoint of ask it questions, prompt it, think through it. Now, a couple of things. Let me step back a little bit from a business standpoint before they go too far. You should have an AI policy, which means don't put your social security number in it. Don't use
safeguards. We talked about this a little
safeguards. So there are some policies that you should put in place, what not to put in it. If you want your other team members to use it, you should have a business structure with it, because it'll take your data. So
there's room for mistakes there.
Let me back up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should have some policies in place, and you should have systems from a standpoint of having a subscription base, not just the pro version, but the business version of it, so that it is a more protected use of data. And then even, on your policy, do you put clients' names in it? Yes or no? Do you obviously?
Yeah, privacy is key.
Privacy. I mean, don't put things in Google too. There's lots of things you shouldn't put out there, right?
Yeah.
Keep those security things in place. So I think having a policy is really important too.
And that's not just for companies. That's just universal regulation of this newfound technology.
Right. If you're playing with it from a pro standpoint, just ask it questions, understand its power before you put anything of sensitive.
Before you make it official.
Make it official and put anything sensitive. But then having an AI policy would be important.
Yeah. What types of businesses or industries do you think are benefiting the most from AI right now that you've seen? Any sectors that you're like, wow, this is just perfect for this business?
Well, I think, I'm excited about medical businesses, but security things. I think there's going to be some great innovations. You're seeing it's going to change businesses like law firms and other things. Because it's an information hub, so there's going to change. I think all businesses can benefit from workflow pieces. I also think businesses who are rely on the human need. Service businesses need to lean into that as well. So I think those are safer businesses to be in.
Yeah.
From if you were wanting to start one, or from a less economic impact, because some businesses will struggle in this shift, including mine. Businesses of mine. I'm not worried about us because we're ahead and we're in it. We're helping people navigate it. But if you think it's not going to change marketing, and it will.
That's an interesting point. And without giving away any secrets, like, how do you stay ahead of that? How do you safeguard against your own, demise maybe? Or,
right. One is I have a team fully on AI. I've invested in that as a company from a growth standpoint. So I have a team that we meet weekly. We meet every Monday. We follow up, and then Friday we have kind of like a stand-up. What did we learn this week? So every Monday we're meeting about, okay, what are we building? And we're continuing to build on this and move forward. Even though we're ahead of most, it's still moving rapidly.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast. So, and then we do like a stand-up every Friday, how do we use it for, a development project? What did we see? What was the latest release on, Gemini? What are we seeing on search? So we work to stay ahead, but I'm flying. It's just crazy how fast it's moving.
It's just rapid, and I'm sure there's moments where you think you have one thing down, and then a new piece or ability comes out, and you have to rethink the whole.
Yeah, I think the important thing too, though, is it goes back to your own systems. So don't just jump into, and when we're talking about how we're building our systems, it's about our current systems, how we're leveraging it, even with search too, because AI search is there's lots of names for it. It's GEO or other names. I just say right now, search is everywhere.
What does GEO stand for?
Generative.
Okay.
It's a generative.
So it's like the new SEO.
It's the new SEO, and that's a new term out there. But really what it is search everywhere.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And so those tactics are still the same. You have to dot I's and cross T's. You have to do the details. You have to, again, help your clients answer the questions that people are looking for.
Yeah.
And then you just have to, make sure that you're set up for success to be the answer.
Yeah.
And across anywhere.
Yeah. Well, your role and the role of your company is so vital because the average small business owner just does not have time to research these things to the extent that obviously you are. So, what's 6 months to a year in? If a company's done all this stuff right, they've marketed right, they've layered in AI thoughtfully. What does good look like for that company? Like, where do you see the most improvement? I mean, obviously sales and visibility, but what can they expect if they get this right?
Well, I can only give you certain case studies. I mean, from the standpoint, we've had clients who got found on generative AI and nationally and landed probably some of the biggest clients they've ever had. And changed their business. Now, that might be good for some companies. That might be scary for others too, right?
You got to be ready for that.
You got to be ready for that. If you do it right, you can, again, it's about being there when somebody's looking for you. And then you have the trust that you have.
All the other things are in place when they find you.
Yes. It is the way people will be looking for a product or service.
Yeah.
Still, though, depends on the business. You have to set priorities. If you're in certain businesses, to say construction, that's a really relationship business. You should look at it. How can you improve your RFP process from a system workflow?
Yeah.
That might be a place where you invest in it more than other places. So you have to look at what how do you land folks now? Now, AI will be more of a trust building piece of what projects they did and how do they make sure that they're found for those. So, but you have to look at your business and how you're found. If you're a relationship business, still lean into that.
And I think that's a huge part about this is people are so afraid AI is going to take the human nature out of certain things, and it's not going to take it out of everything. Obviously, it's still very important to be, client facing as yourself, without AI. But I just think AI is really just a great tool for some of the busy work of operations, for some companies.
Some companies, and it will. I think there is genuine fear about what it will take and how it will change things. And that's fair. And it will change some industries. But I do think people will crave somebody to pick up the phone when they're asking customer service. And a company that does it well and can figure out how to continue to do that, I think they'll win still.
Yeah. Well, just a couple questions left on this topic. Personally, what's something about AI and marketing that you believed a year ago that you've changed your mind about today?
Well, that's a interesting question, and what I guess changed my mind. I'm not sure changed my mind, but I had a toe into AI. I have 2 feet into AI. I mean, so
expanded your mind, I guess.
Expanded my mind on how it will impact business as we know it. I think that's changed my mind a bit. I think companies need to be more curious and move more rapidly in it. So I guess it's more expanded. It's moved faster than I anticipated.
And not everybody sees what you see. So it's probably kind of frustrating at times. Like, hey, I know this to be very true. Get with it. I know.
Yeah.
Probably a constant battle.
When I've seen it come up with, I mean, like I tell, we've built an AI platform that does competitive intelligence for competitors, and just that system of what it can produce in seconds, is crazy. So I think one thing too to watch, though, I mean, the cost of AI will be interesting to watch. It might not make sense for some companies to use from a standpoint of the cost of it. So that's something to watch in the coming months and years. It will, and some of the things that I've seen from robotics as well. I mean, that's not my expertise, but what I've seen.
It's probably expensive.
It is, but you see some crazy, innovative things that are to come. I
see new ones on Instagram every day.
So there's a lot of change coming. It's already here. And I think folks need to embrace it, but I understand the cautiousness. But think about systems again. I mean, it goes back to the old small business process. I mean, of all the books you read on small business, it still goes back to systems. And don't rely only on one LLM, which I mean, don't just rely on ChatGPT, just don't rely on Claude, because next month it might change. So just make sure that's around the system and not the tool.
Yeah. Is AI impacting like social media too? And how important is social media versus a website versus Google? I mean, obviously you want to be visible, show brand clarity, trust, credibility, all those things.
Right.
But from a tech side, AI.
Yeah. Websites should still be your home base. I've always said that. You own it. So social media is a platform you do not own and control.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So just know that. It is a tool in the toolbox. And it is, so your website should still be number one, and you want to drive people to your website. Social media, it has also evolved. And to be truthful, sometimes I have a love-hate relationship with social media. But it goes back to leaning into authentic. There's going to be a lot of AI generative things, and people have to be cautious about that.
There's fully AI Instagram accounts now.
There totally are. That battle of the bad guys out there, the battle of what's real or not, will be blurred.
Yeah.
So lean into, as a company, I believe, more of authentic. Telling your story to reinforce the problem that you solve. Use it for case studies, use it for those types of things. So where I see great success with it, we have a client who is in the medical, it's a hospital, telling the stories of how they've, saved lives or changed lives, those pieces. We have nonprofits about their impact on the community. Lean into those things. Your people. Lean into your people. Yeah. Your stories of your people and your team. I still think that is the way to go. It will, as a consumer of it, you need to be cautious, because there are, bad players out there.
Just be vigilant. Do your research like you would on any product.
Don't trust just one thing, and lean into those organizations that you trust. But from a business standpoint, it also depends on the type of business you are, how much you can invest, because you only have so much time in a day. So is it going to reinforce your mission? Yeah. And maybe you don't have to be on all of them. Yeah. Some actually have a bigger impact on search than others, actually, and AI. Pinterest, for example, has it's kind of been around forever, but you don't talk about that one very often. No, yeah. But that one has a unique, authority on some markets.
I think that's key, what you're saying. It can be so overwhelming, all these platforms. Yeah. Obviously, a marketing company like Proof Digital takes some of that off your plate, but just kind of seeing where your biggest return is, I guess, and focusing on that channel.
Right. And if you're going after 50-year-olds, Facebook is probably not a bad place. If you're going after, some youth, Instagram is probably a better place. And TikTok. So it just kind of depends. If you have good video production, obviously, if you have good video, TikTok is and Instagram. So it kind of depends. But if you don't have the bandwidth, just, again,
don't bite off more than you can chew.
And focus on, you want sales. Yeah. So what's going to help you get sales?
Yep. The rest will come if you just build block by block, sale by sale.
Yeah.
Last question, just to leave the listeners with something, at risk of maybe being a little repetitive, but if you could tell a small business owner starting out today one thing about marketing in an AI world that almost nobody tells them, what is it?
Well, it goes back to the piece. The new world with AI as it is, it can be a salesperson for you. I think, I don't necessarily know if we talk about that now, and that it is. And so getting those things in line from a marketing standpoint, and treat it like that, or you'll be left behind. Yeah. And making sure that if you rely on any type of leads from an online standpoint, you need to make sure your website and your messaging really,
that's the key.
Really tells the story in detail. Yeah. And you need to understand your customers even more.
Yeah. Well, Stacie, thanks so much for sitting with us and sharing your knowledge. I do want to give you an opportunity to tell people how to find Proof Digital if they're interested in learning more about this type of stuff.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun. You have a great setup here. It's a great place to do a podcast. You can find Proof at proofdigital.com, and we'll be happy to have a conversation.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.